If you like this video, please click like, share it, subscribe, buttons down there, and if you want coaching with me in Nottingham or online, all the information is in the bio. How you doing? All right. So I asked for a few questions in my comments, and I've had a good question from Colin Scott. How you doing, mate? You all right? And he asks, when you are down on the shot and you realise that your Q-tip isn't in the correct spot, or it's not on the right line, do you adjust? Now you do micro adjust when you're on the shot. Absolutely, you do that. People saying that you don't do that is bizarre, right? But obviously part of that process is getting the correct part of the cue ball and the correct line to the potting point, right? Wherever that is, right? But it's a common mistake I see people make is this. They're a bit obsessed with the object ball. And I think this is a way of helping you get them both right so you can be confident that you hit them. Check this out. Right, so here goes. This is a mistake I think people are making. I did a post a while ago, similar theme. And what I said was that people are a bit obsessed with the object ball when they're picking a line. Now, absolutely, we've got to look at the object ball. We need to pick that spot, right? But like I say, I think there's not enough attention on the cue ball. You know, we can see that spot there in the distance and we're so obsessed with it. And when they get down, there's a big fight trying to marry the part of the cue ball up and the part of the object ball we need to hit. To make this point, to make this demonstration, I'm going to use this. Here we go. So you'll see what I'm seeing. Right, now, I've put that spot on the white is where I need to hit. That's a trace of right, yeah? Now, what you see is people are behind this shot, they're looking for this line, they're looking at the object ball, got to hit that part of the object ball, and they're obsessed with it. And no attention's on there. Like I say, I think as much attention should be on the cue ball as it is on the object ball. You're looking at them too. But what I see people do, because they're obsessed with that part of the object ball, they get down, looking at the object ball, and they go, oh right, now Alti says I need to put a trace of right on. Oh no, but well that's too thin now, so I need to thicker, but no, I need to put the trace of right on. And it's just a bit of a mishmash, bit of a mess, and then they end up trying to choose one in the bit in the middle and don't get either right. So this is what you should be doing. Get behind this line here. You've got to look at them both, pick a line. When you approach the shot, the first thing you do is get your Q-tip to the part of the white where you need to hit. When it's there, then I look up and look at the object ball and try and then make any little adjustments. Yes, you do make adjustments when you're down, but always keeping my Q-tip at that part of the white ball because that's where I need to hit. Then when you've got them married up, you think that's right, and I play the shot perfectly. So there you go. I think, like I say, there's not enough tension on the cue ball because ultimately you are hitting the cue ball. So you need to really be on where you're hitting. The post that I mentioned, he was saying that when you're down on the shot, if you can't get them both right, you need to obviously get up and start again. But in order to get them both right, I think you need to get the cue ball right first, and then you can look up and just slightly change the line a little bit. So by getting your Q-tip to where you want to hit the cue ball first, that helps you get in a position where you can get both of them right. But if you do it the other way, it can be a bit of a mess. So have a crack at it, see how you get on. So there you go, I hope that made sense. You can see there that, like I say, I make the point, people are obsessed with that potting point and they sort of disregard the cue ball, which is, they're only sort of looking at the white when they're down on the shot, which means they might be miles away from that point on the cue ball that they need to hit, and to get the Q-tip there, it's moving the line so much. So I think a way of giving yourself a best chance of getting down on that shot is basically getting to the cue ball first, then when you're there, you can look up and make little micro adjustments. And hopefully you've got to find the way of doing it yourself, getting them both married up and working out what they look like, because obviously we know it don't always look the same to a lot of people, and then you can sort of trust it. But yeah, try that, a bit more attention on the cue ball, and you might find it easy to line them both up. See you soon.